Welcome to our module on brand building, and this is course 2, social media. And on this particular video training, we're going to be discussing various ways in which you can build a brand on different social media platforms, starting off with Facebook. The thing about Facebook is that how you go about increasing your brand does not just happen randomly. You can be online every single day and not have any sort of impact that is necessary for you to be able to grow your brand. And so you increase your following by not just having great content, but by getting involved in your colleagues' posts as well. However, your objective in commenting is to raise questions, provide a different perspective, and challenge a particular discussion point from a personal point of view. Once you have established yourself as a person who is involved in various discussion points, then you move on to the next step, which is to initiate discussions, and if possible, tag people who are more likely to participate in the discussions that you have initiated. When it comes to other industry pages that you may follow, drive discussion points and comments. You are the one who should be leading that and not waiting other people to do so. And so whatever it is that an industry leader or an individual has started, be one of those people that engages them proactively. Don't just comment for the sake of commenting. Don't just like for the sake of liking. Engage the post. Ask questions. Look at different ways in which a debate or a discussion or different perspectives can be shared on that particular post. And what it does is that it positions you also as a thought leader in that individual's post or discussion that he or she has started. The other thing is that when it comes to Facebook, you need to focus also on people that are outside of your profession and not only on discussion points that are pertaining to your industry. It's very, very important that you are an active participant who provides good content on social media when it comes to Facebook. Because a lot of the times, what I've seen with optometric industry professionals is that they're just on social media, but there isn't a clear objective of what it is that they're trying to do. And then when it comes to, okay, does your business benefit from being on Facebook? They're like, no, it doesn't. I don't really see why I'm even on Facebook with regards to my business, because the amount of people that I'm getting who come to our practice and say, hey, I saw this on Facebook, it's very limited compared to word of mouth or other forms of marketing that we do or brand positioning that we do. That's simply because you don't have a clear strategy in terms of what it is that you need to be doing on Facebook. And so be very clear that you are developing, establishing, and creating yourself or positioning yourself as a thought leader when it comes to various discussion points that may take place on Facebook that you may have access to outside of just eye care. Anything that you find interesting, anything that you find that it's a debate on social media platforms such as Facebook, get involved, participate, drive discussion. Very, very important. Once you have established a personal profile that is growing, create a separate page for whatever industry, for example, that you may be in. So if you use eye care, you start off by making sure that you are building a strong brand for yourself on Facebook that is focused on you. But you then have to move it by having a separate page that is specific to the brand that you want to establish on different social media platforms, especially with regards to Facebook. Having a page on Facebook provides you with wonderful opportunities that are enabling you to build a community, enabling you to connect with people that might be wanting to do business with you. It enables you to look at alternative ways in which you can access or communicate with various targeted audiences that are on Facebook. You get to see the people that you are targeting, what is it that they're interested in. You get to see the people that you want to be part of your community, what type of information they prefer, what type of discussion points they get involved in. And so your activity on Facebook helps you to determine what type of content works and what type of content doesn't work, what type of activity gets your audiences to be engaged, and what type of activity does not get your audiences to be engaged. And so your activity on Facebook is very, very critical in terms of how do you position yourself as a thought leader within that context. And here's the thing, always comment on industry leaders' pages whom you are connected with, because they oikos, or their network, their community gets access to seeing what you're thinking, what you are having as a point of view. And that ultimately also adds towards building your own brand when it comes to Facebook. So very, very important that Facebook creates opportunities for you to share content in different mediums or in different ways that people can relate to, that people can respond to, that people can identify with. And that can help you in terms of when people think of something pertaining to that which you do, you are the person that comes to mind in that regard. With regards to us, we've got a personal page which is under Obi Malope, but then Vision Straight also has its own page. And there's two ways about it. Other people are constantly wanting or sending the like button for their page to random people on Facebook. And a lot of times people find that to be irritating. They don't really get to connect with that type of activity. Why should I like your page when you think about it? So you just sending from your business page, you just sending people to like it without having established the value proposition, without having established what benefit is it for me to like your page. It just turns me off when I get a message that says like your page. However, once you have connected with people on a personal level, for example, if you've got both your personal account and your private account, make sure that you are giving people good quality content first that they need, that they can use, that they find value in, that they actually like, before sending out a request for them to like your page. It becomes much easier when people like what you are doing without you having to ask them to like it. Then that generates a specific lead that you have created, and it puts your business in a position where it can follow up on that lead. For example, what we do, sometimes people will like our page that I was not even aware that they are even friends or connected to our page. Once we get that like that was initiated by them, what then we do as a business, we then send them a private message to say, thank you very much for liking our page. We value and appreciate the time that you have taken in doing so. And all the best with your business. If there's anything that you feel we could add value into your business with, please do not hesitate to get in touch with us. Anyway, here's a link to our website so that you can see the wonderful work that we do. And we leave it at that. It makes it much easier for us as a business to be connecting with that individual. And then we wait for that person's response to say, whatever it is that they've responding to, then we then build our relationship between ourselves and that individual in that regard. When I send a request to connect with someone on Facebook and they accept the follow, I send a message as well to say thank you for accepting the connection request on this platform. Value and appreciate the time that you have taken to be able to accept it. All the best for the remainder of the day or the week or so forth. What it does, it says that I see you, I hear you, I acknowledge you, and I'm here to connect with you, not just for the sake of connecting. And by doing so, it puts us in a position where we have an opportunity then to showcase what we do to this individual. And every time we would then be posting about something, this person would be getting and receiving that which we are posting about, because it's high up on the things that they feel are important, that they can relate to on Facebook. And so a lot of the times, the mistake that brands make when it comes to the activity on Facebook, they are just sending out communication, expecting people to like their pages because they sent out a like page. And it actually creates a disconnection and not necessarily a connection. Let's look at Twitter. The thing about Twitter is that follow industry leaders across the globe and always comment on their tweets. Follow industry leaders who are also outside of your profession, and if possible, also comment on their post as well. Retweet, 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 and create engagement. So part of commenting on a post on Twitter, for example, is you asking a question, you adding your perspective on a discussion point, you sharing your views, you creating debate basically, and you expanding further on the topic that person has initiated. And that's what you do when you're getting involved in discussion points or tweets in that manner. Don't just be liking for the sake of liking, because it means after a while, the other person can actually pick up that you're just liking. I've seen sometimes, even with our posts sometimes, that we would post different things and this person would come and like our posts for the last 7 posts that we did, and it all took place in 1 minute. Like. Yes, it means this person is there for support, values the stuff that we do, but are they really engaged in the activity that we are having? And so what you want is for people not to be liking your posts only. You want to be creating engagement. You want to be establishing communication. Once you can establish communication, it leads to a connection. Once a connection has been established, you then have an opportunity to convert browsers into buyers, because you want them to move beyond your social media to your website, where they can be able to see what is it that you are doing, what services, what solutions, what products you are rendering, and so forth, in order for them to be converted from being browsers into being buyers, which is very, very important. And tweet on interesting topics of discussion and provide alternate point of views. Very, very important. Twitter, when it comes to healthcare, is still growing. And so what you can do is start following Twitter pages of various industry companies, various industry leaders who are already miles away in terms of the activity that they're doing on Twitter. And also, same thing applies with Twitter. Have your own page as well as have your brand page, which is very, very important, unless it's the same thing. But make sure that you are distinguishing between your own page and your company page. And it varies. Some people or some leaders will have a different viewpoint when it comes to this. My business partner with regards to iAfrica Media, Dr. Daryl Glover, he's got his own page as Dr. Daryl Glover, and he does incredible. That's his brand. That's his main brand. He's on different social media platforms, and he's there active, building his brand. But the different companies that he's involved in have their own pages. And the Defocus Media page, for example, focuses purely on Defocus Media page, and that's it. iAfrica Media focuses on iAfrica Media. Black IK Perspective, he focuses purely on that. What he does on Defocus Media, he does not do on the other pages. Whereas with me, for example, we've got Vision Straight, we've got the brand Obi, and we then also have iAfrica Media. And I'm on, and all 3 brands are on different social media platforms, including Twitter. And what we have noticed, or what I do then personally, is what I post on one, I will share it across the different social media platforms, because the following is at different stages. So part of me posting on different platforms is to grow the platform and to get the people that are following me on one platform to also be aware of this platform that I'm also running and grow that brand and connect. The difficulty sometimes that I'm faced is to be able to make sure that whenever I'm posting personal stuff that are pertaining to me as Obi the brand, I'm not sharing those personal stuff on the business related pages or accounts on social media. So I will keep the personal stuff on brand Obi, and I will share the business related content on both brand Obi and the business related content on the specific business account. Whereas Dr. Glover, for example, doesn't do that. Another doctor would be Dr. Adam Ramsey. He also does the same thing that I do. He's got multiple business avenues and business accounts, as well as his own personal account. And in his case, his business accounts have got a bigger platform and reach compared to his own personal account. And so his activity that he does there, he does it exactly how I do it. He shares it on both sides, but separates his personal content by keeping it purely on Adam Ramsey's account. But when he does the business related stuff, he shares it across board, including his own personal page. Whereas Dr. Glover does not mix the other components on his personal page. That remains his personal page. And what happens on the other components, he keeps it on those other components. But that's because his social media reach is far bigger than the two of us put together as an influencer who has been doing this thing for a longer period of time. And so his reach was built over time, and that's why he's in a position to separate it. So there are different viewpoints pertaining to how do you go about separating your business account versus your private account. However, in the context of your optometric practice, where you want to make sure that you are connecting with as many consumers as you possibly can for your optometric practice or your eye care practice, right? So you want to make sure as well that you're separating the business from your personal brand. But make sure that people that connect with you on a personal brand or point of view through your brand story personally, that it can be relayed back to your brand story through your company. Because a lot of people might connect with you on the personal level, but you also want to make sure that those same people that connect with you on a personal level go and connect with you on a professional point of view as well. And so a lot of the times, what optometric practices don't do is that they don't see their team as part of their story. So part of building your optometric brand is that your team plays a critical role. Team culture, team synergy, brand values or shared values that govern the team within your optometric business play a critical role in the type of activity that you guys will have as a company on social media. So what would be a personal story on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or LinkedIn from a company point of view? That will be the experiences that the team do or goes through. And so share various activities, whether it be socially, day-to-day stuff that the practice does as a whole team. Share those experiences on social media so that consumers are not only focused on buy this and get that for free, or this promotion exists from this time until that time. People connect when they can see that, but these people are like me. These people look like they've got a good vibe about them. This brand looks like there's just something about how they embrace the diversity in the practice. You know, I'm seeing young people, I'm seeing old people, I'm seeing different people of different cultures coming together, and they look so happy and they look like one strong team. I can relate with that. And my brand as an individual, my identity as an individual, as a consumer, I want to connect and support brands that reflect who I am as a person. And so I can relate with this company simply because of what I'm seeing taking place on their social media. And so that would be something that would be personal, that a person is attached to when it comes to your brand business, in terms of your role on Twitter or Facebook or any other social media platform that you utilize. And so you have to find that balance basically between your personal and your private account. Let's look at Instagram. Determine what brand story you want to put out into the public, both personally and professionally. As the example that I've just alluded to when it comes to what we do as individuals who have already been at this thing for our time. And both my approach and Dr. Ramsey's approach works for our brands and our business brands. And Dr. Daryl Glover's brand works just the same. So his approach works for him. Our approach works for us. And it's just a matter of you identifying what type of approach will produce the results that you wanted to produce. And so don't just create a random account that serves no specific purpose on what you want to achieve as a company. Be very clear what your brand story is. You go to, in actual fact, this is what we do as a company, as Vision Straight, our brand design company. When we work with companies in terms of establishing their social media story, is that they choose a particular template. So we've got over 20 different types of brand templates that people can be able to select from that will best represent the story that they're trying to have. And so whenever they go onto social media, Instagram and Facebook, for example, they utilize the template that we have designed for them in building their brands on those particular platforms. And so it's not random. There's a reasoning behind colors. There's a reasoning behind what you post, when you post. So for example, our color is green, gray, and white. So if you go to our Instagram account or page right now, you see that green throughout the Instagram page. And that was the color that we chose that best represents the brand Vision Straight. And so even you can see it here right now, how the color scheme works for us. It's just something that we selected that represented what we wanted to represent on social media. And so very, very important that you are clear on what your objective is when it comes to Instagram. Don't just be all over the place, because then it just looks like noise when people look at it. So if there's no clear story, approach, what your focus areas are, what are the type of things that you post about, the consistency in terms of what you post about, the people that connect with you, people disconnect with that. And what you want is to be posting in a manner that your consumers can connect with. Your brand story needs to be so clear, because the thing about Instagram is that it's not about your captions and your words, it's more about what's in the image. And so people are captured immediately by the visual representation of what you are trying to talk about. So that comes before the captions at the bottom. So what is it that captures audiences' attention first is what you have to keep in mind when it comes to Instagram. And so share pictures and videos that tell a story of authenticity. Don't copy and paste what you see other brands doing on their Instagram accounts and think that it will simply work for you, because you don't understand the reasoning and the why behind their brand stories. So very, very important that you are clear on what your brand story is first, and then make sure that you are consistent in building that story on Instagram. Try out multiple storytelling strategies and see which of the ones that you are trying gains the most traction to your audiences that results in them appreciating that, being engaged in that, and wanting more of that type of content. And your story, remember, is your unique value proposition. Always look at innovative ways that can help position your brand story. Very, very important. Invest in building solid online professional networks on Instagram. Engage people you are following by also adding real perspective as well. And so very, very important that you're not just on Instagram to be liking a lot of stuff. A lot of people do that. They just like, but there isn't any form of engagement that is taking place. And the thing about Instagram, you want to engage, you want to comment on those people's posts that you are following. and it results in them also commenting on your own posts. And so as a company, from a company point of view, Instagram allows you the ability to create a perfect visual representation of your brand story. And you're telling your story through videos and pictures all the time. And the thing about it is that both Facebook and Instagram right now, you are able to have Facebook Live or Instagram Live or Facebook Stories or Instagram Stories, where if it's live, you are able to do like a brand activation activity with your consumers, where you do something related to a product, a frame selection or product selection or eyewear selection, and you can go live with that. A celebrity comes into your practice selecting eyewear, and you can ask them, hey, how about we get your audiences to get involved with the frames that you're selecting. In actual fact, it doesn't even have to be a celebrity. It can be a person who's got a very strong, big social media following, and or someone who actually wants to continue growing their social media profile. And then you can be able to just utilize that opportunity of Instagram Live or Facebook Live to actually select the frames that that person wants to do, and they can get the community that is part of their brand to participate in selecting of the frame. And that is something that is different that you can be able to do as an optometric practice. And try developing basically 2 to 3 minute videos that are focused on a specific topic of interest, and you can turn these videos into a series. And so I just give you the example now in terms of this week, it could be frame selection. Next week, it could be something to do with contact lenses. The following week, it could be something else. The following week, it could be something else. And the more you do it, the more engagement you are able to get out of it. And so Instagram provides you with that wonderful opportunity that you can create that solid engagement with your audiences, and basically find a balance between what you do from a personal point of view and what you do from a professional point of view. And finally, LinkedIn. Keep your posts professional. People from all walks of life are on this platform, and you never know who's reading and following your posts, even though they're not commenting on it. And so one of the things that your company might not have a big LinkedIn account, but you as the eye care professional or employee are able then to establish yourself on LinkedIn. So if I'm not an optometrist and I'm an employee, I'll make sure that I've got a solid LinkedIn account and LinkedIn profile. If you need help with that, please do get in touch with us. We are more than capable and able and available to assist you in building a strong LinkedIn profile. But here's the thing, your LinkedIn profile is your elevator pitch from a professional point of view. Whether you are an employee or an optometrist, professionals connect with you, especially if you're an optometrist trying to build a community for your optometric practice. Make sure that on LinkedIn, you are connecting with various different types of professionals out of your industry, but in a manner that when they start thinking of eye care related needs, you are the person that comes to mind as a result of your activity on LinkedIn. I've got a bigger following on LinkedIn than I do on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram put together. But I'm more active on those other three than LinkedIn. But that's because on LinkedIn, I understood LinkedIn quicker than I understood the other platforms. And simply put, LinkedIn allowed me the opportunity to be seen as a thought leader when it comes to business related content related to eye care. Because I would connect with people outside of my industry. I will connect with people in my industry. I'll connect with people locally and internationally and be an active participant in that connection, whereby it was clear what value I bring to the table and what value I'm expecting to receive and so forth. And so we build lots of good quality content and teaching, educating, showcasing our skills through that medium, because it created that opportunity for us to be seen as a thought leader in that regard. And that was very, very important for us to do. And for you as an optometrist who's listening into this, or the employee in an optometric point of view, even when you start moving from one practice to another, and people need to look at your profile, when they see the value that you added in your practice that you are working in, it can be showcased from a professional point of view using LinkedIn. And so generate thought-provoking questions, probing of ideas that cause people to become engaged on your post. And stop trying to sell people things on that platform. That's the mistake a lot of people do. They just go to LinkedIn and they start trying to sell things, and it turns people off, and people actually they unfollow you. That's the thing, that on LinkedIn, a person could be your connection and still have the option of choosing to follow you. When they follow you, it means every activity that you do, they get to see. But they can unfollow you, but still be connected with you. And you will not have an awareness that people are not they're connected with you, but not following you, simply because you are not doing that which creates an engagement between you and them. Get involved in discussions. Follow influential key opinion leaders as well, very important. And like I said, from time to time, link create videos for LinkedIn as well. And your YouTube, link your YouTube channel. Every time you post things on YouTube, send it to your LinkedIn and keep it short, straight to the point. And over time, you get to see that your videos now also have a following, and that people are starting to be engaged with you on LinkedIn. And keep your blogs solution-based. Here's the thing, your opinion pieces, you have an opportunity to write blogs on LinkedIn, which can establish you as a thought leader in a particular subject matter. So if you're an optometrist interested in pediatrics, blog on pediatrics. Once a month, once every week, blog on pediatrics, and from a different angles, different perspectives, providing different ways in which people can view pediatrics. And that could be something that distinguishes you in that regard. Don't just be there for the sake of being there without any form of real value that you are adding to your network. So the thing about LinkedIn is that it's all about what value do people get from the content that you're putting out on LinkedIn. And that is also just as important as your professional profile. Whereas on Twitter, it's those quick thought processes that you're just sharing. Instagram is the visual representation of your brand. Facebook creates the opportunity for you to build a community. And so all four components have different benefits that you need to be taking advantage of. And remember, as Vision Straight, we are on different social media platforms. We would love to connect with you. Look at us as an example. Look at the people that I've mentioned. Go and follow various industry leaders within the eye care industry and check how they're utilizing these platforms to grow their individual brands. I could have given you lots of other examples of people how do you become an influencer, which is a separate topic that we will do at a later stage. But how do you become an influencer? How do you become a brand ambassador? And so forth. And those are some of the things that these social media platforms that I've alluded to give you the opportunity to position yourself as a thought leader and a key opinion leader within it, and be able to grow your brand through social media.